What's going on, guys? So if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, the Kae Kurd YouTube channel, this is the last episode that's going to be on there. Because we're gonna go over to the Ain't Got a Clue podcast YouTube page. So if you're watching this and you're a fan of Ain't Got a Clue, head over to that page and start pressing subscribe. That way you can be up to date with all of the new episodes. We've got some big name guests coming through as well. So yeah, just transfer over there. It's the same podcast, but new home, innit? Just makes life easier for you. Yeah, watch it on there. Go and subscribe. The link will be in the description. It is Ain't Got a Clue podcast's YouTube page. Thank you very much. Hey, yo, what's going on? It is Ain't Got a Clue. We are back for a new year. Not new me, same old podcast.
Same old fuckers,
My New Year's resolution is to be me, but better.
That's everyone's.
Everything I was doing. No, just do everything I was doing, but like 10 times better.
Just do it
Even
more,
the
innit?
negative stuff.
Sleep in later. I'm going to be more hungover. I'm going to do even more procrastination.
Essentially that, bruv. Get me? So if you ain't signed up to the Patreon, go and do so. It is popping off on there right now. For the price of a coffee. It's not even a coffee anymore, man.
It's not.
It's double espresso is £2.20. For £3 a month, you get extra episodes. You get like behind the scenes content and stuff. And hopefully you make us really rich in the process, because we still owe money for these cameras. And I'm not even breaking even on the parking that I spent.
I was gonna say £3 in a few ain't gonna be much, is it? It's not gonna be much, is it? It's gonna be what, a single espresso soon, isn't it?
I swear, we're probably like going down the same route as Zimbabwe, bruv.
You reckon?
Oh, what? When there's like £300 buys you a loaf of bread, bruv. With Charles on the money. Charles on the money is going to make inflation go even higher.
Do you reckon?
100%. I know he can't say anything.
I know. Welcome. I guess he's doing all right, isn't it?
Yeah. James Haskell.
I was waiting. I could fucking say what I like. I was coming in all guns blazing.
Friends with Mike Tyndall and royalty, basically.
My face on a note.
Do you?
Yeah.
What note?
Like a £9 note or something like that. Like real dodgy, like half a fiver.
Yeah. One of those.
I want like Illuminati shit on mine. You know, like in America.
Loads of triangles.
Loads of triangles. Eyes, pyramids. Like fold it. It comes out like real racist stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just so everyone goes, the £9 note, the Haskell.
Oh yeah, when you fold it up in a certain angle.
The weird thing is the Haskell note comes just pre-rolled for the bag heads.
Comes in a cone.
It just comes in a cone. It's cone shaped straight away. You can make a.
It even comes with a bag itself.
That's what the other pound's for. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Imagine that.
So some of the listeners are like, "What's the bag?"
Yeah. I don't know either.
Yeah. Well, you came with some black eye gin though. Cheers for that, mate. And this is the James. Let me read this. Like anything.
Do you know what's pissing me off? Yeah? You know when people are just talented in one respect. Like you were a fucking talented rugby player. Yeah. Now you're a fucking DJ. Yeah. You're an author. You're a father. I mean, that one's not so impressive. But
you just did what you do, innit? That's just did what you did.
Right, whole takes a bit of magic.
Yeah. And then you fucking now you own a gin company. Yeah. What's this? Black Eye Gin.
Yeah, Black Eye Gin.
Stand-up comedian.
Technically.
That's
the phone shop school of thought. If man say him a ting,
he's a ting, isn't it?
Yeah. So you're doing loads. So what brought you into this?
Well, first of all, I always come bearing gifts, lads. You know that. But it's a bottle of Black Eye Gin. So it's a long story. I kind of Alex Payne and Mike Tyndall, who I do the Good Band Rugby podcast with, we like drinking gin, very posh middle class activity.
Yes.
Running over poor people as well and doing everything else. And we so basically we were drinking gin a lot, and a couple of people approached us, said, have you thought about doing your own? And we started working with a company called Hawkridge Distillery, and we spent ages going through kind of all the branding. It was quite fun looking at branding.
Yeah, what's the name?
So we actually started with a couple of other names, and it was the one name that we wanted I can't even remember what the name we actually settled on was taken already. I think there was like a vodka or something with it. And then Black Eye came out, and we were like, do you know what? Life gives you, black eyes. Kick you in the bollocks. Rugby gives you black eyes. It kind of works quite nice, quite punchy. And then we decided to go for the black bottle, and the gin inside it. There's a few secret bits in it from potentially some royal estates, but we can't reveal too much of that. It's got a bit of Harry's blood in it. I'm joking. Not yet, anyway.
He's going to need the money soon. He's going to be investing in it.
Yeah, he's got 100 mil now.
Is it?
For Netflix.
Is that how much he gets?
Yeah,
I need to break up with my family.
Is that 100?
I'll marry like some random.
I'm not sure you get 100 mil for breaking up.
No.
You're like, what would you get? Like,
I don't know.
Sponsor it.
Yeah, just me in the middle of Lidl.
Hey,
mate, it's all money. But so the gin's unbelievable. We launched it on the tour, and we haven't really done a lot with it. It's been quite a slow burn, but people are absolutely loving it. So I thought I'd bring it along. I've started gifting it to people that I like.
And you want to drink this at 10 a.m. in the morning while we're recording this, James, on the pod? Is that what you want to do?
I could do. It's a bit of a punchy start to the day. I've got to go and do a
strong start to the day. 7 hours anyway. To be fair, like he's an early riser.
Yeah, I'm a 5 a.m. kind of guy. But I get to bed early though.
Not one of them things like no days off.
Bro, he was asleep at 5 p.m. last night.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
So he gets.
I needed to be though.
You're looking good though. You feel like that.
That's what we're saying. You're fat.
Isn't it? Yeah. You're filling out the cracks. You're filling out the creases.
You're looking like
eating well. You look well. It's all just filling it out.
You had a good Christmas, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a great Christmas
before. Now he's grown into it. I like it. But you are looking good. I just wanted that extra sleep stuff. It's just I'm always a bit freaked out when people go. I wake up at 5 a.m. because it's a terrible time in the morning, and like someone like The Rock, who, as you imagine, is my idol.
We've had chats about it.
But he talks about like no sleep and getting 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, that the risk of getting under 5 hours sleep raises your chance of dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but if you're on steroids,
I was going to say the steroids will get you out of bed.
The steroids will get you out of bed. The steroids will do a lot. Like if you're on like any ephedrine and all of that shit, bruv, he's on every fucking thing known to man, bruv.
Allegedly. I'm
not allegedly, bruv.
I'm not getting sued on this one.
Yeah.
Sue
me, ain't that shit?
I'll do the press. That's good press.
Just lost your Audi contract.
No, I mean, he alludes that he's natural, innit? We were having this chat.
You know what? He can't allude. He can't.
You know what?
Say he's natural.
He cannot say he's natural looking like that. At 50 looking like that.
No,
he doesn't. He looks better now. Like, and I've said this before. He looks better now than he did when he was wrestling. And when he was wrestling, he was young.
Yeah.
Like the joints were supple.
In the WWE, which they all look like friggin' cartoon characters anyway.
It's that Terramana tequila and what's that other energy drink?
What's it? Just tequila and that soul drink.
Bro, you can't look like that, man. But yeah, he gets up 5 a.m.
He basically gets up like ridiculous time, but he also trains at 1 a.m. and says he only has 2 or 3 hours.
That pisses me off almost a bit more. That pisses me off a bit more than steroids, because steroids we kind of know, right? Yeah, and now, we know.
He's got veins. He's got veins like anacondas in his. Anytime you see someone with like mental veins, are all like wriggling shit in his neck,
in their chest as well, like James is like, what? James is like, what is he on?
I thought about, imagine if I did do gear, what I'd look like. Just absolutely.
Would you do TRT?
Do you know what? Well, this is what I was going to say. I was going to follow on to. Obviously in America, because they're so way more health conscious, right?
Yeah.
So the TRT, the growth hormone, and someone like Tom Cruise uses a hyperbaric chamber, right, wherever he goes. So he's got
Eddie Hall's got one of them.
Eddie Hall's got one of them. So sleep in a hyperbaric chamber.
How big is his fucking hyperbaric chamber?
They had to fucking get a crane in and
it's
shit.
It's like a torpedo tube on a submarine.
Bro, if you go and watch the video how they brought it into his house and stuff, bro. It took like 4 or 5 men to just like normal men.
Yeah. I was gonna say normal humans.
Not fucking strong men, like, do you know what I mean? But like, it was just like when he goes in it as well, and it's got like a phone where we like talk
intercom.
It from inside it to talk to the other.
It brings a cup of tea,
bruv, like, you know when you're like, bruv, life ain't worth that, bruv.
No. Well, I think so. Again, the hyperbaric chamber, they do red light therapy, so infrared saunas, but also like ultraviolet therapy and red light therapy for anti-aging, right? So and basically, I think it's a red light therapy or the hyperbaric is basically shown to the end of your bits of your DNA or whatever, it does something, or some of your cells basically stops them, so it reduces aging. So that's why Tom Cruise looks like an absolute boy. That's why The Rock looks like a boy. They're all all this stuff.
You don't know. Have you seen his face recently?
What, Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise. It's not, bro. I 100%.
How old is Tom Cruise?
They're doing some of that CGI shit, bro. You know the CGI shit that they had in The Irishman? Oh my god, yeah. But that shit that they had in The Irishman, where they had the guy looking like he was fucking 25 years old, moving like a fucking 70-year-old, bruv. That fucking pissed me off. That whole thing. Just use a bit Italian actor in it. Use a young actor. But yeah, all of that shit. I'm like, it's not worth it.
No.
Unless you're an athlete.
Yes.
And your job relies on that. If you're just like if you're like us, I'm just going on stage, bro. Why the fuck am I using a hyperbaric chamber? If I saw Bill Burr going, Bill Burr's routine in the morning is a hyperbaric chamber.
I love Bill Burr, man.
I know,
absolute boy.
I know, but I'm saying like you'd be like, why the fuck is he
Bill
using
Burr
that?
was doing it. I mean,
But it's effort though, isn't it? That's what I think it is. It's just
and it's
effort.
expensive.
Yeah, but again, imagine this, right? So you go. You just. I think.
I love the way he like sidestepped the question though, where I was like, would you do TRT?
No, sorry, I was going to come back to that. So the thing with TRT is, I talked
It's a secret ingredient in Black Eye.
I talked about it in the book. Right? So what a lot of people are doing is watching Love Island. The honest answer is yes, I would do TRT if I needed it, but I'll tell you why. A lot of guys watching.
You're on so much testosterone already in your body, you don't need it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, when a lot of these guys watching Love Island and all this stuff now are going and like men are obviously always want to have shortcuts. They're all just going and firing in this TRT, right?
Yeah.
In fact, you know about TRT. I mean, people are just doing it willy nilly.
Yeah,
and the thing with TRT is, what they forget is that if you introduce something to your body, that it stops your normal body production. So your nuts shrink, which people don't talk about. So little raisin balls. And obviously, if you don't manage yourself coming back out the other side when you eventually stop, you literally fall off a cliff, and you'll feel worse than you ever felt, and you basically can make yourself infertile. So a lot of lads, a lot of young men are watching all these Love Island stuff. Someone will go into the gym, brother, you thought about TRT, right? And they're going, start smashing it in, feel brilliant, and then basically stopped it. Like they can't have sex anymore. Like also, they're infertile, and also it blows their receptors off in their head, so they can't get horny anymore.
But do you know what the funniest thing is? Most of the guys you see in the gym are on roids, and they still look like shit.
Yeah,
like you got to do it with like the right diet and all of that sort of stuff. People just think, let me just take this, and then they still look like shit. They look like fat lumps, and you're like, bro, like you need to do everything else with it as well.
Or a good friend of mine went out and he was on juice and he partied as well. And his liver just couldn't take it. His liver couldn't take it. So he gave himself like chemically induced jaundice. So he was in hospital. Like obviously, we call him Homer Simpson now, whatever. Now when he came out of it, there was jokes in that. But at a time when we went and saw him, we were like,
deal with stuff.
It's horrible.
Your friend could be dying in it, and you're like, "Is he alright?"
As soon
as you find out it's alright, let the joke.
It's mad.
Begin.
We all had pictures and stuff because it's not looking too good for him. Took pictures and stuff, and as soon as he was fine, those pictures went right into the WhatsApp group.
I know when Babatunde came out, bro. The amount of pictures I sent him, screenshots of like fucking thing. I was like, "This you, yeah? This you, yeah?" I was sending him screenshots of him in the jungle looking like weird and stuff, and he's like, "You're a dickhead, bro."
I can't forgive Babatunde for saying, "I'm celebrity, get me out of here."
You can't
forgive him.
Why?
Because what the fuck, bro? It's like there's like two women just flying off the side of that building, and he didn't even step out. It's like
he's on next week. He's on next week.
You got a message for him? We'll send it to him.
Say, look, I thought he was brilliant. I loved him. He liked Mike. He liked Mike, which is good. Mike's a mate, but mate, you can't be saying I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. Like
I cussed him for that, but it is what it is, isn't it? Like,
what do you mean? It is what it is. He's that high up, tied to a thing. He's not going to foot like.
But that's what I was saying to him. He's like, but bro, when you're there,
everyone always says when you're there. I've been there, done that. No, I'm not saying.
There you go, brother.
I didn't even get close. Like, not one thing on that. When I did I'm a Celebrity, I got close to saying I'm a Celebrity. Not. Is there
something that you think you wouldn't do? Because some of the stuff that they wheel out for you to consume and that is just a bit mad.
Eating that fucking random blended shit, that would fuck me up, innit?
Really?
Like, I'll do it, but it would fuck up my insides.
The blended stuff I could do.
My belly's going to be doing remixes.
You say that because you're on those rice and beans, right? Everyone's real nervous. When we first went into the camp, everyone's like sitting there, and obviously the Dunnies, like I went into the shit camp to start with, and the Dunnies obviously is like it's like just hole in the ground with like a chemical toilet. It's pretty smelly as it is, and you're just like, who's going to drop a bomb first? There's a load of birds around, so you're just a bit nervous. You don't want to go, it's like date one. Like, like date three, you share a hotel room for the first time. You're going down to the lobby to drop a bomb.
Date free hotel, my guy. We're saying, baby, you want to go to the Hilton?
Holiday Inn Chief next to the motorway. I get a Ginster slice, a blower, and then fuck off around the corner. I'm joking.
Married man, James Haskell, by the way.
My wife, when she listens to this stuff, she goes, "Why do you always make jokes about shagging?" She does that all the time. She listens to good bad.
You don't know what happens on tour now.
Men will be men. Relax, babes. I'm not true. She'll be like, "Don't call me babes. Stop being a cunt." Also can't say that, so I stop being an idiot.
Why can't we say that now? Is it?
In America,
because I've been hearing about that in America now. Is that going to happen over here now? Because I feel like that's an interesting, because that's a British bit of slang.
No, that is embedded, especially up north. What you doing, you fucking cunt?
It's just proper key, like East End.
But in America, they just,
it's the worst word.
Yeah, it's the like, oh my god, did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
Like, it's I don't know, but they're more religious in it.
Yeah.
So I think there's elements of that shit.
I normally never say that. I just got very relaxed.
That's what we do to people.
Yeah,
and then we get a message, mate. Like, can you?
Mate, I didn't want to say that.
Can I a bit about putting blood in the bottle? You know, I don't care. I
Mate. Just
the thing is,
what it is. Usually, I wouldn't even fucking mind. But do you know what it is? Because this book launch is coming out. I just want to keep it low profile.
I actually don't care. But I mean, you can bleep the C-bomb out only because I would never use it. But it's just what my wife would call me if she caught me.
So you got a new book out, right?
Okay, 1 second, bruv. This is your 7th or 8th book.
7th book.
Is this the only one that's not about your life?
No.
You know, like ex-rugby stars or whatever, like, I've got 7 autobiographies.
Yeah.
Big man, just they're chapters.
Oi, my fucking life's like the Bible, bro. Like, it's Encyclopedia Britannica. We're only on chapter 7 of my life, and there's 30 chapters within chapter 7.
Oh my God. It's not.
It's not.
So what are the other ones about? What a flanker was
life, which you need to read, because you're a comedian. You pick up a few lines from it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Let me come on your podcast.
I've got another podcast called Moose D. She'll come on. I promise you.
No,
because you'll get a voice of mate, great to see you. Just favour, just take a couple of bits out of the show, and also I'd love to have you on the pod. But no, so the first 3 were. First one was a guide for young players on how to play rugby. Second one was kind of a training bible, fat loss, muscle gain, kind of home workouts, 130 recipes.
That was a cash grab.
No.
That went with the workout plan as well.
That was a cash grab. If you want to look like me, you're not looking like him, bro.
If you don't want to do the TRT, come and eat a salad, right? That's basically what we got. And then basically the fourth one was What a Flanker, which was my autobiography, which kind of went crazy. Ruck Me was the follow up to that, because it went so crazy.
These are all rugby
rugby puns.
For
Americans like, what the fuck? Ruck Me?
We've got a few international listeners.
Is this like the new cunt? Is this the new cunt word?
So what's ruck is
ruck?
Yeah, Ruck Me.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to call this one Scrum on my face, but I thought that wouldn't go down too well. But then this one
ain't getting Times Best list, man.
In a couple of years, James like, I'm doing the sex tape now. I'm doing the sex tape run. That's going to be my one.
Are you going to do a tour for it?
Yes. Well, okay. So
can we whip out the book? Let's put it up. Throw it to the YouTube.
This one is completely different. This one is completely different. This was about mindset, and it's called Approach Without Caution: 5 Pillars to Take Control of Your Life.
But why should I listen to you?
Why should you listen to me?
Yeah, but no, genuinely.
Because basically, I played professional sport since the age of 16. I worked with some of the best coaches, best psychologists, best trainers, nutritionists, business people. Obviously, as you said, I've written 7 books. I'm a DJ.
There's no tears in it. In that.
No, not really. But I think there's a lot. Also, I've had my fair share of scandal. You know, I've been on the front page of newspapers for doing stupid shit. I've had injury, success, and failure in lots of areas. Yeah. I think all the lessons I learned from being a sportsman are the same things I applied to everything else you're talking about. So, so again, this is one of the things that sounds really self-aggrandizing, but I've written the 7 books. I've just released my 7th track on touring records or music records. I've done lot DJing, all this stuff I do.
So fucking impressive. I set you up to fucking
but it sounds wank, but
no, it doesn't. Like, because I feel like a lot of people try and box themselves in, and there's like a lot of people that will go, oh, I don't know if I could do that, like. And it just shows, if you're confident and you believe in what you're doing, and you're like, do you know what, I've got the ability to do all of these things, you can go out there and do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I would presume that, like, through your career, and you've written about it in a few of the books, innit? Like, as a rugby player in the change rooms and that, to be the guy that comes in who's even got a fucking website, or a man's active on social media. Who the fuck is this guy? Do you know what I mean?
I've taken a lot of heat for a lot of what I do. I'm very much an acquired taste. I know that. I don't, I'm not one of these people that says, I don't care about what anyone thinks. Everybody cares what people think. We're programmed to do it. But I care what the right people think, and I've kind of learned over the years to switch off, but also to take kind of feedback. And you were saying, off air, you're talking about kind of making notes and your progress in kind of comedy and stuff. You have to take feedback from the audience. You have to take feedback from your peers. You have to look for feedback, and that's very hard to do, especially as men, to take criticism. And people don't do that. But if you want to develop, you have to fucking...
The way men take criticism,
Is it?
Hey, but that pussy.
That's what I mean. So you get upset. But the weird thing is, I talked about it, is that you can have that moment where there's something really uncomfortable, where someone says, listen, I think you're doing this, and it's someone you respect, and you know that they're not on social media, so that and you've met them, and they say, look, I think you need to do this. So you might go, fuck you, what the fuck do you know about it?
But there's a quote that I live by now. It's like, don't take criticism from anybody you wouldn't take advice from.
Of course. So one of the things is find the right people in your life that you respect, that are going to challenge you, that aren't going to blow smoke at your ass, but equally people that do what you want to do better than you and go and ask them for help. So that's why. So all the people I work with on whether it's writing books or speaking or DJing or music production, I'll always go and find people and just ring them up or message them and go, look, I know it's easier for me because I had a bit of more of a public persona, so it does open a few doors. But I'm as hungry as ever to do that, and so the lessons I think.
Well, it's also one of those things that once you start playing professional sports, like people think it's so fun. Obviously, there are fun aspects to it, but your life is regimented to a T. Like you don't really decide where you are. They're like, on Sunday you're in this city. You're going there. You're at the hotel. This is the time you're going. This is what time training is. You got to be asleep by this time if you're a good athlete. Like, and then it's like you're waking up and you're going to this other place, and it's like sometimes you're not there for Christmas.
No,
do you know what I mean? And it's like your whole life's regimented. So when you come out, it's like of doing that, it's like this. You're sort of in this like vortex of like, fuck, what do I do? That's like, I don't know. I read a stat the other day, like most Premiership footballers are like bankrupt within 5 years of like.
Same thing with a lot of sports, like NFL guys, like something like...
Jermaine Pennant just went bankrupt yesterday.
Because they continue their lifestyle as if they were still earning the same money and haven't put anything in place. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned through my career was not necessarily about the psychology, not necessarily about the nutrition, wasn't necessarily about the training. And you said all the things you say are exactly right, was the psychological part. So I started seeing a psychologist when I was 17, and for no other reason than a lot of people would... pay money to take supplements. A lot of my people would say, if I said you could run faster wearing these trainers, everyone goes out and buys them. But nobody was putting the work in mentally. And so when you
that is mad that you're saying
even,
that. Like
even now, like I imagine even other comedians, right? If I said to you, you know what, one of the things you could help with performance was maybe some of the mental side of it. Just looking at the analysis of how you performed, say your body language, say how you dealt with bombing, how you dealt with your organisation, all the things that you would take for granted, you can change through speaking to someone, finding the right person with the right tools. But if you ask me from 17 to I'd say 28, if you ask me in a change room, any team, England, Wasps, Stavros, whoever it was, and said how many people are talking to a psychologist, I'd say I'd be one of two. Up until I was 28, I'm 37 now.
But that's what I'm saying is to have the foresight to even go to a psychologist, because I know it's all big now. Everyone's like, oh yeah, mental health's amazing. But like back in the I'm not even back in the day. 5 years ago, like if you spoke about mental health like that openly, or you just said, Rio Ferdinand was saying it recently. He's like, if he saw anybody going to a therapist when he was playing, he'd have been like, this guy's weak. This guy shouldn't be.
And
playing
also, okay, don't forget, this is rugby as well.
I know.
Like, this is a sport where these lot run into each other head first with no padding on. Do you know what I mean?
They all shit on each other's chest for fun. Like,
and that's in chapter. What's that in? Is that in chapter 6?
Why is rugby like why are rugby lads so mad when you lot go drink it? Because no other sports like that.
Okay, well,
when you lot start centipeding each other.
Centipeding. Oh my god.
James is like, how do you fucking know?
I went to boarding school, so I know all about centipeding. The chaplain's on one end, the PE teacher was on the other, and we were in the middle.
The vicar.
See what happens when someone says the Lord's Prayer, mate. Our trousers come straight off. I'm joking.
Pavlov's dogs.
Or am I? That's the next book. No, but let me deal with the first part of that. So the psychological thing is, I think, is particularly interesting with men, right? Is that people say it's weak, right? But I've always been very honest about it, right? So I obviously have a lot of bravado. I obviously have a lot of the way I conduct myself, but I've always been very honest about it. So I've always said, listen, if I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad day. If you ask me how I am, I'll give you an honest answer. I've never shied away from going, listen, I was seeing a psychologist, and the reason and it could have been as simple as, right, looking at how I learn shit. So if, say for example, you're going through a move in the team and you aren't really getting it right, and the coach is like, fuck's sake, just do as I say. I might not be the person that can learn from being told. I might have to be a visual learner. So suddenly you start understanding, how can you ask people to help you if you don't even know how you learn? And then it could also be as simple as, after you come out of a game, and now, especially now with social media, you go online and people say you shit, and that you wear that for days. How do you're always going to wear it, but how do you get back on track quicker? And all these things are the tools that I just watch people in every walk of life struggling with. And I listen to my friends and family, and everyone's got a fucking excuse, and everyone's got a reason why they can't do what they want to do and why they shouldn't do it. And I just went, you know what? Fuck this, I'm going to go and speak to someone. And as I spoke to someone, I discovered that I had more stuff going on than I thought, because everyone's got stuff going on. Everyone in this room, people have got
you
stuff
look
going
at yourself. On. Do you know it's like people are like, oh, you discover so much about yourself. Bro, I'm a cunt, innit?
I'm a horrible person.
Yeah, but I've had that in regard. When I joke about people being like an acquired I know. Through like self-analysis and talk, like I know my limitations. I know what I'm prepared to and what I'm not prepared to do, and also how I am. And I think for me that's really important. And so, a lot of what can be solved in your own life, especially with this whole new year, new you shit, is actually looking at yourself and putting some work in on the mental side. And you don't need to have been fucking touched by a priest at school to have to go to have a meeting. You don't need something tragic to have happened to you. You just need to go, do you know what? I'm trying everything else. What is one area I haven't looked at? And then to answer your question about the shitting on stuff, right? Segue.
Let's go.
So a lot of people's experience of rugby players is going to university and seeing rugby university sides who shit on people, who do all this, drink pints of sick, shave each other's head, right? So that's what everyone thinks rugby players are fucking idiots. I've never done any of that. Genuine.
Really?
I have never done any of that. So
I'm been adjacent to it, though, isn't it?
I'm actually kind of disappointed.
Yeah. He's been near it.
Look, we did more. We did different stuff.
Like, we did drugs. We did hard class A shit.
Remember
real Peruvian.
With Michael Jordan in like The Last Dance, he's like when he's first time to Chicago, he'd go to his room and have a cigar, and in the other room they'd all be doing cocaine and partying. That wasn't us. But
the fun in rugby, they were probably in a cafe,
just drinking coffee. But the thing with it is that everyone's experience of rugby players is that so as soon as you speak to people, they go, drinking mad, that's drinking culture, doing all this crazy shit. I never did any of that. And if I'd been to university and honestly, which I didn't do, and they'd said to do that, so I'd tell you, fuck off. I would never. I don't mind some stuff, but all those weird kind of initiations, I never had to do any of that. The worst initiation I had to do was sing on a bus. So when we made an England debut, sing on a bus. That's and I chose that Tenacious D, You Don't Always Have to Fuck a Hard song, which when some of the elderly coaches told me to sit down, you silly boy, which didn't go down well. But then you have to have a drink. Then you have to have a drink with every member of your team. So there's 36 members of the team. They have to drink what they drink. So they might come up with a glass of red, drink it. If they want to fuck you, maybe a pint, maybe they go for something else. But you can only have one drink. Obviously, surviving 36 drinks with the lads is pretty punchy. That's the only thing I really had to do.
By the way, athletes.
Professionals. So that's the only thing with it. So I don't really know about that. I know people do mad stuff, but I wouldn't done it.
Was there anybody like real mad that you were playing rugby with that you had to even go, hey mate, like calm it down?
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of so some of the Pacific Islander guys, because again it's weird. Look at the sort of culturally, a lot of them were supporting lots of their family. Some of them were supporting villages of 100 people. It's like mad when you look at it, like insane. They didn't really talk about it because if you think that we're kind of closed shop, Pacific Island guys are amazing, but they have so much social pressure. They don't normally talk about anything. And some of those guys would drink, and it would be like a switch had been flipped. And honest to God, it was like you're going to die. I remember I saw one guy come up behind a teammate and was like heavy breathing, and the guy just didn't turn around the right way and just got absolutely popped for no reason. And it was like you've killed him. Another one. This member of the public started on our friend. This specific guy took his t-shirt off, wrapped it round his wrist, and Superman punched this guy like out of nowhere. Just literally went what? And we're like, he's dead. He's dead. It was and stuff like that. That was quite loose.
Brother, you're disrespecting my friend.
and that was quite loose. And then
too late for sorry.
And then I think there's some other guys as well who once they go on the piss wouldn't stop. Just wouldn't stop. They 2 or 3 days disappear.
Fucking hell.
Disappear a guy.
You're doing the Six Nations and
actually, luckily, I think on international level, you would. It was sort of either club level or like post the end of a tournament. You would go. But some guys in clubs like we had a guy that I think we played away in somewhere like South Africa or wherever it was, and they went on a night out, missed the flight home, turned up 2 days later, came back. Like people like putting out missing person stuff. Like,
always one.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine playing for England? Like they're waiting at Gatwick for you all year, and it's like, where is it? No, we don't fucking.
Yeah.
Like, just...
I've had one guy. I won't mention his name, but we played in France in a World Cup warm-up game 2015, and the guys who were not involved in the game went out, and this guy was told, "Listen, we know that you're a bit bad on the piss, mate. Just like rein it in." And he basically got drunk, wouldn't listen to anybody, like pushed his friends over, went out, woke up in the doorway of some French people's house. I opened the door, was terrified, called the police. He comes back to the hotel at 8 a.m, handcuffed, right? And they're like, all the lads are getting on the bus to go off to training. He comes in, the police. The coaches haven't seen him. We're like, fucking hell, just, go to your room. Just say you're ill. Of course, because he's still shit-faced. Goes into the physio room, is breathing alcohol on everyone. And they're like, where have you been? So, oh, nowhere. They're like, you need to
just been watching the Moulin Rouge.
So
it's great. Haven't you seen it? Oh, that's wonderful.
So yeah, so there are loose guys. I mean, I'm not really built to do that. Really, I'm not.
But you seem like you're like always trying to like be as best as you can be physically and stuff as well. Like you had a back operation, didn't you? And then you come back, bruv, 6-pack. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Has he done
I've got good genetics on. I think that does play a big part. But I'm fucked now. Like I've got arthritis in my right ankle, so I limp everywhere, which is annoying. I obviously had surgery on my back. I've got a problem with my wrist. My fingers are.
What did you have in your back?
So I had something. So basically, one of my discs was putting pressure on my spinal cord. It bulged into my spine, and the weird thing was that there's something called cordia equina, basically, which means that if your disc crushed your cord, the amount and it basically fully crushes it for every kind of hour or sort of few hours after it being crushed, you're permanently damaged. And mine was heading. So I was in a car driving back, having had an MRI scan, and my doctor called me out and said, "Where are you?"
Driving.
Yeah, driving.
I'm fine.
And he goes, "You need to get to hospital now." And I said, and I was like, "Listen, mate, I'm not fucking, like, stop being so dramatic." He goes, "No, we've had a look at your MRI scan. Basically, your cord is being, is very much crushed. You are heading towards cordia equina." Now, if I'd had cordia equina, I would have shit myself. I would have been screaming in agony. So I wasn't obviously that bad. Yeah. Went straight to see the surgeon. The guy was like, "Look, you haven't quite got it, but you're pretty fat."
So you couldn't do any deadlifts or anything?
No running. I had no box jumps. And so basically they said next day, come in for surgery. So I went in the next day.
See what private healthcare can do for you. And if that's a reason to fucking read the book, right? Like, I don't know what it is, bro. Like, if you want to be successful and prevent fucking becoming an idiot that can't, you know.
That's what, mate, if I'd relied on the NHS, I'd be dust. But one of the things is that
we'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah. Well, the thing with it is that you.
That's a good one.
The thing with it is that with the insurance stuff is that I'm not covered. So all my stuff that you want to be covered for is now pre-existing.
This is why he's writing so many books.
Shit, yeah. That's why.
Genuinely, you think I'm fucking joking? Why? I'm like, like they say about a duck. You look at the top of the water, a duck's just very serene. But he's fucking paddling. I'm like that the whole time, trying to stay up, because that's 25 bags. I reckon since I've retired, no joke, I've done about 45 grand on operations, injections, scans, not covered by anything. So if I fucking break my leg, I'm covered.
I was only asking him because I got a back problem myself.
Yeah.
Right, do I need surgery?
Look, I would say.
No, I don't think I need surgery, but like I think mine's more nerve.
Fine, but I would say surgery is always the last option, because a lot of people think once you have surgery, everything's gonna be better. Once you go in and interfere with any part of your body, you can have more issues. Actually, since I've had my back done, I'm way better. But even then, like this morning, I went training and stuff. You still feel it. Like I was picking up boxes and stuff yesterday. You still have to be super attentive. Like I don't squat anymore. I'd never do deadlift anymore. There's loads of things I wouldn't do. I can't run anymore.
So I don't really run or do any sort of squats and stuff anymore as well. Just because like when I stand up, that's where my issue is. Yeah. From a seated position. Like the more I'm active, I'm fine. But once I start, once I've been sitting down for too long and I stand up.
Well, that's what lockdown did my back in. So I was doing all that MMA stuff, I was doing all that wrestling, and obviously that didn't
you can't
help.
do that anymore either.
Nah, you got to part out though.
I've stopped to that. But the thing is, the worst part of my body at the moment is my ankle. It's so bad. I haven't run since I retired, and honestly, it was raining yesterday, and I thought
Let me have a
little jog.
Little jog to the door. Mate, I honestly thought it was going to fall off. And they want to fuse that. So they want to take... So basically, when they fuse a joint, you obviously got your cartilage. They basically connect the joint so it doesn't move, so you're not with no pain.
My brother did rugby for like 3 years, I think, and like he had to get surgery done on his like foot and everything. He can't feel most of his foot.
No, I know, and
it's fucked.
No, nerves.
Is that frustrating though? Because obviously you're someone that's come out. You've done a lot. We've already established that like you're up for trying new things. But one thing that is inevitable is your body, innit? Your body is going to start saying no. And is that something that you like think about as well?
Yes, I think the pain things are a really interesting one, because when I retired, I basically retired 2019, went straight into a lockdown. All the stuff that I did was public facing, so DJing, speaking, a podcast, everything was involved.
This guy DJs solely in a vest, you know.
Hey, the only guy that can DJ. You can DJ and be security at the same time. That's what's fantastic.
SIA badge. Just with a vest on as well. I've never seen him do a mix in fully clothed.
Nah. They're not paying for that.
David's on stage with him and he's just there like half.
He's gonna drive there and Nick's in the house, lads. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey David, you know, and he's just there like, yeah, fucking go on, Craig. Look at these fucking guns.
So I've got Kae on the text line. But no, it's one of those weird things, because I obviously had all this stuff and then went into lockdown, and I obviously got to the first time to kind of sit and look at what I was doing, and pain was a real issue for me.
Yeah,
pain in terms of being in pain all day, every day. And it kind of wears on you. And like, of all the things that I do, and I have a very fun life, I get to do cool stuff. But, in being in pain all the time, walking and limping, you kind of become all sort of immune to it. But it's very depressing, because in your mind, I still feel like an athlete. Like when I watch videos, I found some stuff on my hard drive the other day. Not that kind of stuff.
No, the other hard drive. The other hard drive.
Fans are so hard. Fuck me, I had a lot of fun.
One hard drive went into the river. The other one.
Can you imagine James actually looking at himself 28 and go, fucking hell, yes, fantastic. That was a good try. That great form. Yeah.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about looking at myself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, looking at yourself.
No, I thought looking at myself doing other bits. Look at the DP on that. It's unbelievable. Great hip thrust, incredible work.
That's why my back hurts now. Fucking hell, that was mental.
I wish they had 8K back then.
Mate, that's what the surgeon did. He looked at the back and went, "Fucking hell, that shag was cursed, mate." He goes, "We're going to see that 1 in a million." Man's drilled his back to a standstill, and then he got up and he was he had a walking stick as well.
Yeah.
No one, mate. But the pain thing is interesting. So I do find it very hard to reconcile being what I am, and talk about it in the book, kind of understanding like what you were and what you are now, and not becoming upset that you aren't what you used to be, but coming to terms with it now and go, right, I can't run, I'll never play rugby again, and I'll never do the things I wanted to do.
Do you miss that though?
No, not the rugby part, but I miss like the MMA stuff. Like I think I could still maybe go and do some jiu-jitsu and some other bits. I miss being competitive. I'm a competitive person. Like I spent my whole life kicking fuck out of people and getting shit kicked out of me and training and fighting and striving to be better, and life is very simple. If you were good enough, you played. If you weren't good enough, you weren't. Whereas all this world now, in the real world, it's very ethereal. Trying to be a DJ.
Yeah, you're looking at a TikTok. You're like, how the fuck have they got views?
That's what I mean. And like you're trying to grasp something that you can't get your hands on. It's very
it's not tangible.
It's not tangible. Even like your career, you guys are smashing it, but it's. If there was a simple pathway, it's quite easy to follow. Rugby has that. Sport has that. Life doesn't. I'm trying to be a DJ here. I'm trying to be taken seriously. But people are saying to me, listen, just find your sound. Like, what's the sound? Well, you'll find it when you know it. Fuck off. That's not advice.
Just be you, James. Just be you.
It'll just come to you when something's right.
You know on Twitter where they always go, would you take £10 million or dinner with Jay-Z?
Fuck Jay-Z.
Fuck Jay-Z. Wouldn't even fucking ask the question. 10 million, ask me anything. Like 10 million, would you stay with your wife? No.
Someone was saying, like, they done a TikTok about it, innit? They were like, when you take the dinner with Jay-Z instead of the TikTok, and they done the Jay-Z impression, they go, yeah, man, just be you.
Yeah.
He's like, if Jay-Z was giving you the advice, like, if I was being honest with you, I'd have taken the money.
That's what I said. Hey, if I was being honest, I would have taken the cash, G.
I'd have helped my moms out with that money.
It's not. I mean, also the other thing I think when lads sit around talking and they say like, right, would you shag that bird, right, for 10 million quid, or would you shag your mate for 10 million quid? I'm like, I'll fucking do it for like 40 grand. No problem.
But I've said this to a lot of people. Yeah, you know all these hypotheticals where they're like, I'm like, really and truly, if somebody put the
real cash
in front of you, yeah, you would know your price would dip real quick.
Oh,
yeah,
I'll bang you for 40 grand. Not even. I'm not into lads. I'm not even bothered about it.
He's like, that's my backup.
You got to think of it though. There are certain things you got to go right. If you're being paid a certain salary, or you got to understand levels. Like, so if I'm doing an appearance for somebody and they're paying me 20 grand, I'm not going to shag you for 20. It's no point. And you go, right, what would be quite nice, 40, 50 grand might make that's not. I
remember back in school, people were like, would you give Bill Gates a blowjob for his worth? And everyone was going, no. I was like, you lot are liars, bro.
It's like, if I can wash it and then
he's not talking about the money either. He's talking about washing the money.
Also, you've got to be clear. That's tax free.
Tax free. 40 grand. Yeah,
I'm not getting hammered.
James has really thought about this. Yeah. He's like,
fuck me. Yeah. Remember, 40 grand, they're taking half of that.
How do you invoice for that? Like, what, can you oil for 40 grand, please? What services to
carpet cleaning? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Carpet cleaning. So is that a chapter in the book?
Yeah. So, do you know what?
So wait. What else is in the book? Let me have a look.
Do you know what? There's one bit of it, and if it gets a bit too deep, pull us right out of it. You talk about something that I always say to people: we should all talk about more because it's fucking inevitable, and that is death.
Yes.
Like, so many people don't want to talk about it, but it's the only thing that I can guarantee is going to happen to all of us.
Yes.
I'm not going to play rugby, Kae may not DJ, whatever, but we're all not going to be here one day. Was that quite an interesting thing for you to just go, right, I'm going in. It's going in the book.
I think it was, because look, the problem with the book is it's very different than what I've done before, and again, kind of having the personality I have, I've luckily been able to navigate both being a bit of an idiot and kind of a joker, and also being quite serious and trying to have those central messages. I think a lot of the world now is very complicated, and I think a lot of people who, for example, didn't have a voice now have a voice, and we're trying to rebalance things, and we're not quite getting it right. And I think a lot of people through social media are given a voice that probably don't necessarily need one, or those who aren't qualified to make changes, because companies and stuff are now bending over backwards and allowing people who really aren't qualified to do anything to change policy, to get people fired. That's where we've gone. We've empowered people who, ordinarily you'd sort of basically used to just shout at each other in a pub or a corner or a field. Now, because you're able to do it in public, people are actually taking notice. And the death thing, I think, was something that really hit me with the COVID situation, is that we live our lives often quite safe. We live our lives we take for granted. We all three of us are young men or youngish men who, life is in front of you. You don't really have expectation that something's going to come and kick you in the bollocks or something's going to happen to you. And so you shouldn't live life like you're going to die tomorrow. But I think it's a nice reminder that, and COVID kind of showed it, that death's always in the other room. Is essentially, there's a Greek kind of Greek saying, memento mori, which kind of reminds you, look, you're never far away from it. So it's a great way to make sure that you always live your life to the full and you make the right decisions that are going to make you happy. Because I'm 37, right? Hopefully, I think I'd maybe have another 30 years on this earth. We have absolutely no concept of that. So I want to make sure that I'm living every single moment after this is I want, that I'm happy and I'm fulfilled and I'm getting better and I'm progressing. And equally, I want to make decisions that mean that I'm going to have happiness. So things like with partners and relationships and business decisions and things that, you're constantly doing something you're unhappy with. You don't want to spend your life doing that, because if something was to happen tomorrow and they were to go, listen, you've got fucking testicular cancer, touch wood, it doesn't happen. You don't want to have gone, fucking hell, I waited, I haven't done anything. The reason I live my life like I do, with a bit of chaos, is if I was to walk out here and get hit by a bus, I've had a real good go at it. No, you can't really say I haven't had a good go.
But imagine the book you could write after you come out of getting testicular cancer, bruv.
Yes.
That'd be a
the other side of the journey.
Is that HarperCollins? It's HarperCollins be like, James, we need to have a talk.
Yeah.
Would you for 40 grand? For 40 grand.
He's halfway through the chemo and it's just like, listen, mate.
Well,
doctor says you're going to be fine, right? Look at the proposal, right? And it'll be, you bald.
Trust me. I'm going that way anyway. I'm getting a new lid this year, actually.
You can go for it.
I'm going to get it in, yeah. I'm going to get it sewn in. I'm going to come out with a top knot and a ponytail. Going to get AstroTurf. They're going to come straight
looking like Chauvin.
Because he's the only bloke, he's the only bloke I know who's got a preceding hairline. By the time he's 50, it'll be over his eyes.
Who's that? Is it Sam Ryder? Is that what you're going to look like? That guy that done a Eurovision Song Contest. That's what James going to look like.
It's impossible to hate him, innit?
He's everywhere, bro.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, I was watching it going, I want to fucking hate. And then I was like, I was toe tapping my way through the whole.
He's great. I'm going to look like Sam Ryder. My poor man.
Could you imagine Turkey? Or are you doing it at Harley Street?
No, I'm going to Harley Street, bro. I'm not going to Turkey.
I've got money.
No, I'm actually going to get done. I'm going to get it done for free to come out and talk about it.
Little couple social media posts.
So when you said about the book coming out about chemo,
yeah.
And you were like, I made a joke of it. I would 100% do that. Like, you guys, all the stuff you're suggesting, I wouldn't do. Okay, no, if I got hit by a bus or something like that, and I lived, story about how I changed my life.
I can imagine that. Next stop, life.
Yeah,
that's what it'd be in it. Something like that.
That is the title.
He's gonna be on his bed like, am I all right? Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Can you get HarperCollins?
I'm trying to think what the title.
Get to write this down quick.
Oh wait, no, I tell you what it'd be for the post-testicular cancer. New balls, please.
Yes.
New balls, please.
New balls,
yes.
Mate, imagine that.
It would be like the same cover as this, just with his
just the bottom half.
Yeah,
trouserless. Yeah.
Grab the balls by the horn.
No, I love how you could joke about that stuff though, right? Do you know what? If my balls went, that's the one thing I'd like. That's when I would be like all your other body parts, like you sort of deal with in it. Your wrist is like
you get synthetic ones. You still feel like you've got.
No, not your ball. I'm talking like your. Sorry, your.
Oh, your piece.
Yeah.
Oh, you're actually
crumb. Yeah.
You know, like I was speaking to a couple of other comedians, like on a car share, and I was just like. They were like, "Oh, remember when you just get boners like when you woke up?" And I was like, "What do you mean remember that?" That's
that's a sign of weak. That's a sign of low testosterone.
Yeah, I was like, "What do you mean used to?" Like that still happens.
Yeah,
to
if
me,
you get morning glory,
yeah,
that is a great way of showing you've still got high testosterone.
Yeah.
That's why all these lads who didn't need to take testosterone take it and didn't need it. If you've got no testosterone and like you're over 40 or 50 and you're not, you feel tired, you're moody, you're not getting hard-ons in the morning, you're not feeling sexually active, you've probably got low testosterone. Go and see a fucking doctor and they can recommend it.
Yeah, do it like pharmaceutically. But yeah, I don't know why I was even. But if that stops happening, brother, I am straight on the phone to a doctor.
Yeah,
I need to know that I'm having kids one day, innit? Right, and if that goes, I'm fucked.
Yeah, but that's why a lot of these lads who take all this stuff, they make themselves infertile.
Yeah,
so it's all fun and games until you go and get tested. You're like, by the way, you've literally made yourself infertile because your body isn't producing any more sperm. So any lads listening, for fuck's sake, see a doctor, work out if you need it, and do it. Don't listen to Big John down the gym. And get recommended to start taking Parza.
So you must have been.
My family's got high testosterone. Like my uncle was having kids in his late 60s.
Nice.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like you're like, raw, like you know when you're looking at him, like, raw, you're still
he's still going through puberty. Is that what it is?
It's ridiculous. But I don't know. From that part of the world, all of them are just like horny fucks. Like if you look at like anywhere in the Middle East, like there's like 7, 8 kids. Like you look at any Middle Eastern family, they're like, I've got like 9 uncles.
You just get a different hobby though.
Yeah.
Read a book.
There's not much to do in the heat.
Read a book. Have a lie down.
No, but it's too hot, innit?
Too hot. So you got to take some clothes off, start feeling horny. Oh, fucking hell, another kid.
You meant if you lost your piece.
What if you lost your actual penis?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No. I'm talking
imagine
about
you get shot in the dick, or your dick. That for me.
Would you rather have your dick shot off, or have a micro penis? So you've had a dick and you don't have a dick anymore, or you have a micro penis.
That would look mad on you because you got a big backdrop as well.
Big backdrop.
Yeah. It's a big landscape. It's a big landscape, isn't it?
Oh my god, he'd be on a Manscaped advert.
We look like the last chicken in the shop, wouldn't it? Like the lawnmower 7. Just I accidentally shaved the piece off. Oh shit. I think I'd have to go for the micro piece.
Really?
Because can you bend it in half and still thumb it in? I can't say it.
They're doing these leg lengthening surgeries now. Have you seen this?
Yeah. Where they can add like a few inches on like below the knee or above the knee.
They put they basically break your bone and they add a bit of metal in, and then infuse that with your bones and whatever, and then you get
Can't do that to a piece.
No, you can't. But like,
or you'd have to get.
I'm like, how much? Like, how fucking? I mean, you guys are fucking tall, but like, how fucking insecure can you be about your height for you to just go? Let me add another fucking inch on, and you're out for like 6 months, bruv. Like, you got to learn how to walk again and shit, because your body ain't used to like.
That but like Lionel Messi, he was on a growth hormone, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
I think he still is now.
Is it?
Well,
I know he was back in the day.
Yeah, but there was a little thing about, I thought about 5 or 6 years ago, where I think something like it came out, and he was either still on it to maintain, and obviously again that has anti-aging properties, has recovery properties and stuff like that, and he's clinically able to do so.
That's when I look at Bezos.
So is that a grey area then? Because technically with Messi, without that medical intervention, is that what you're trying to say?
No, absolutely not.
He wouldn't be the GOAT without.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't be though. Technically, like that's. But but Bezos, you reckon he's on the?
Have you seen Bezos?
He's starting to look like a villain, isn't it? Yeah.
Bezos looks fucking. Go on Google Bezos in 1994. The guy looks like an accountant.
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking dweeb, bruv. He's just saying, hi, this is my company, Amazon. You look at him now, the guy, he's in a hyperbaric chain, but he's
shaved his lid off, isn't he? He's geared up. He's like younger. He's had Botox, he's had fillers, he's had nose job, he's had the whole setup redone. Mate, he looks unbelievable.
He looks prime.
You know, someone said to me, there's no you know what someone said to me? There's no such thing as ugly, just poor.
100%.
That is the truth.
100%, bro.
That's the truth.
You listen.
Look at the Kardashians back in the day.
Fuck the Kardashians. Look at me. Like when I was in my teens, no barber, no gym, nothing, bruv. I discovered all of that, and then fucking hell, suddenly I was
let's not go too far. You still like a work in progress. Still under construction.
We'll put the pictures next, mine and yours on the Instagram, right? So you get some most likes.
Okay. Shirts off, yeah. Shirts off. Peace out.
Give me 6 months. Oh no, bottom half. I'm fine.
Did you trim up down there, lawnmower?
100%, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't want to
look mad. No, do you know what? For a Middle Eastern guy, I'm not even that hairy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you think about it, look, there's nothing.
Yeah,
there. You're hairier than me.
It's true, actually. I didn't think.
You're hairier than me, bro.
We're not down there. Looks like the last.
You're very concerned about my.
I am. Well, if I'm going to bang for 40 grand, I want a good work area. I want a good work service. We're not agreed that. I thought we agreed that. Do a couple more stand-ups, brother, and get some cash in, and I'll do it for you. Do a couple more jobs.
Saying this, yeah. I'm the top in it.
I tell you what, let's fight for it. Let's have a wrestle for it.
A wrestle for before the wrestle.
That's fine. I'll fight you for that, bro. Fuck that shit, bro.
Come in, he's wearing a little skirt and a little bow in his hair.
All right, let's go on to the Patreon. This is Patreon chat, isn't it?
Isn't it? It is.
I think the whole show's been Patreon chat.
Well,
Yeah.
James, before we go though, book, name, everything. So because we will put a link to it in the description.
Yeah, thank you. So James Haskell, Approach Without Caution: 5 Pillars to Take Control of Your Life. It's out on the 5th of January. Get it at WH Smith's, Waterstones, Amazon, wherever you want. I think there's some signed copies still available. The links are on my social media under @James Haskell. And if you like the sound of the Black Eye Gin, then head to blackeyegin.com.
You got a podcast as well?
I've got a podcast called The Good, the Bad, the Rugby, and a podcast called A Moo's Douche, I Am the Douche, where I, on my journey to become a stand-up comedian, I will be interviewing Kae Kurd in the new year.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Are you doing an audio book as well, right? For that as well?
Yes, there's an audio book as well. You're like my PR managers. Are you on fire? Yeah, there's an audio book out on Audible.
I had to fucking read the book, didn't I? Because I was like, James, you got the audio book? It's like, not already. I was like, fuck. So now I've got to be drunk at Christmas and read a book at the same time.
When I was working on the Redknapp show, they kept on playing a clip of Jamie's audiobook, and it was the funniest thing ever, bro. Like
him reading it?
Yeah. The grass, what a nice feeling. The smell. I want to see your audiobook as well. It's a fucking audiobooks are hard work, you know.
Yeah, man.
Like recording them, like you're in a fucking studio for like hours and hours.
So I did it in 2 days, and I did it. I think. So I started at 10. I'd walk out there at 6 every day with like an hour for lunch. And the weird thing is, obviously, you speak, but if you speak too fast, you've got to stop. You slip up, stop, go again. And by the end of it, I was like, fuck, go, fuck. You get stuck on a word as well.
Yeah.
And some of the words, some of the Greek pronunciations of some of the people in there. And you're like,
Aristotle.
Prometheus. You're like, gonna say again, Prometheus. Say again, Prometheus. It's just going on and on and on. But yeah, it was hard. I think in total, like one day I did. It was like 280 or 290 minutes non-stop of just talking.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
But I like it when it's the actual people that have written the book.
Yeah, it's like, hello, I'm James Haskell.
Yeah, but when have you seen America? Some of them American books, and then and it's like, bro, like, get me sort of voice that's fucking interesting.
I do find that that's a very good point. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and actually I do switch off if there's an American sort of person reading it, and
an American nerd,
it's really like personality. There's no personality in it. Soulless. I once found out when the X-Files, back in the day, I listened to an X-Files book and it was in America. It's like, oh my God, you're like, shut up.
It's just like, approach without caution, the 5-step plan to take control of your life by James Haskell.
Do you do voiceover work?
Yeah.
Yeah, about to say,
I just did Loaded in Paradise on ITV
Nice.
I voiced the whole thing. Yeah.
And that's out right now.
Yeah, that's out right now. Watch it, binge watch it all now.
I love that. Do you do a lot of that?
Not a lot, not a massive amount, but yeah, slowly.
You're very good at voices. You should do more of that.
Yeah, I will do. Thank you. Head over to the Patreon now, guys.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, also make sure you follow us. Ain't Got a Clue Pod on Insta. We're on the social medias as well.
At James Haskell.
Just his name, bro.
That's all I need.